The NBA's biggest nightmare for the next decade might not even be Victor Wembanyama himself. It might be the fact that San Antonio actually found the perfect guy to run beside him, and nobody saw it coming.
Stephon Castle, the bright spot in this is that he's been the facilitator all season long. So he's been able to be able to go through his growing pains. And the one thing that I look at is the two-man game, because we know in the playoffs, you got to have that two-man game and that chemistry. Wemby and Stephon Castle, they have that.
A year ago, teams around the league were all asking the same thing. Could Stephon Castle really fit next to Wemby without wrecking the spacing? Back then, the shot looked shaky. The handle looked loose. On paper, it felt like the whole thing made zero sense. Fast forward to now, 16.7 points, 7.4 assists, 5.3 rebounds, and the Spurs just ripped through the season with 62 wins and the second seed in the West. Then in the playoffs, Castle leveled up again with 19.3 points, 5.8 assists, and 4.2 rebounds a night. Somehow, the pressure made him even better. And honestly, the doubters weren't completely wrong. They were just too early. Because if you rewind 12 months, people were tearing this pick apart before he even touched an NBA floor. June 2024, Spurs are sitting at number 4 on draft night. They call Stephon Castle's name, and the analytics crowd instantly starts panicking. The resume looked elite: McDonald's All-American, National Champion, Big East Freshman of the Year. But nobody cared about those awards. One number drowned everything else out: 26.7% from 3 at UConn. That percentage became the giant red flag hanging over San Antonio's future. The logic around the league was brutal but simple. Victor Wembanyama needs space to dominate. He needs clean driving lanes and room to attack. If defenders could ignore Castle on the perimeter, they'd just pack the paint and turn every possession into traffic. Suddenly, the unicorn everybody hyped up would be trapped behind layers of defenders every single night. The criticism came flying in fast. Show pony. Can't be a lead guard. Project pick at 4. Then December showed up and things got ugly. Castle slammed straight into the rookie wall. He shot just 37.6% from the field and a rough 20.9% from deep. Against Minnesota, he got benched and only played 7 minutes. The turnovers became a serious problem too. At one point, when he was running the offense as the main ball handler, he had the highest turnover rate in the entire NBA. Those same labels got louder now because people thought they had proof. Show pony. Can't be a lead guard. Project pick at 4. But this is the part most people leave out. Castle didn't fold when things got messy. He didn't panic. After New Year's, something clicked. The game slowed down. The reads got cleaner. The confidence came back hard. Over his final 25 games, he averaged 19.3 points, 5.6 assists, and 5.2 rebounds, while stacking up 5 double-doubles during that run. By the end of the season, he walked away with Rookie of the Year honors, back-to-back winners for San Antonio. The critics got loud, then suddenly real quiet. Still, they weren't completely wrong either. Surviving in the NBA and truly thriving are two different things. When the season ended, the three-point percentage still sat at just 28.5%. The fit next to Wemby still looked questionable. The problem wasn't solved yet. It was just postponed. Heading into year 2, nobody doubted whether Castle belonged in the NBA anymore. That conversation was over. The real question became way more dangerous. Did the Spurs accidentally draft the wrong partner next to their generational superstar? Then something strange happened. Castle disappeared from the spotlight. No big interviews, no nonstop headlines. While everybody else kept debating his jumper online, the Spurs quietly started building the exact kind of roster that would force him to evolve and force the rest of the league to pay attention. Summer 2025, the cameras stopped rolling, the noise faded out, and Stephon Castle completely vanished from the spotlight. No nonstop social media clips, no flashy pickup game highlights, no talking tours. Just hours in the gym every single day. The jumper that dragged him down to 28.5% from 3 got rebuilt from the ground up. The shaky handle that caused all those ugly turnovers got tighter. The decision-making that once got him benched in December sharpened over and over again through endless reps from May all the way to October. But the wild part about grinding in silence is this: when you finally come back, everything around you can change overnight. Because while Castle was locked in working, San Antonio was quietly reshaping the entire team. De'Aaron Fox, who arrived halfway through the previous season, finally had a full offseason to settle in as a Spur. And this wasn't some role player. This was an all-star guard, a proven scorer, a guy who controls games best when the ball is in his hands. Then the Spurs added even more pressure by drafting Dylan Harper with the second overall pick. Another guard, another high-usage talent, another player used to running the offense. Suddenly, the conversation around Castle changed completely. Nobody kept asking, can he shoot anymore? Now it became, how does this even work with 3 guards needing touches and only 1 basketball? Most analysts already thought they had the answer. Castle looked like the obvious odd man out. People started predicting reduced minutes, scaled back responsibilities, maybe even a bench role. The kind of situation that can mess with a young player's confidence before he ever reaches his full potential. Then San Antonio shocked the entire league. After 29 legendary seasons, Greg Popovich officially stepped away from coaching. Just like that, the greatest coach in NBA history was gone. Mitch Johnson, Pop's longtime assistant, stepped in as the new head coach full-time. New voice, new ideas, new system. Man, this is where everything flipped. Because Mitch Johnson didn't build an offense around forcing one star guard to dominate the ball every possession. He built a system designed to unlock all 3 guards at once. Fox got freedom to attack downhill early in possessions. Harper got room to grow without carrying insane pressure immediately. Wemby still controlled the paint and drew defensive attention everywhere he moved. But quietly, the most important role landed in Castle's hands. Not the guy, the connector, the player who reads the floor instead of forcing shots, the one who keeps the offense flowing, the one who finds shooters in rhythm and makes the spacing finally work, the guy doing all the little things that don't always show up in highlights but completely change winning basketball. And the scary part? That was exactly what Castle spent the entire offseason preparing for. The patience improved, the passing sharpened, the jumper looked cleaner. Every weakness people attacked months earlier suddenly started turning into strengths inside this new system. Then opening night arrived, and the doubts started dying fast. October 22nd, 2025, and first game of the season. One by one, every concern people had about Stephon Castle started getting erased by the numbers. The jump from year 1 to year 2 looked crazy. Points per game climbed from 14.7 to 16.7. Assists exploded from 4.1 to 7.4, almost doubling. Field goal percentage jumped from 42.8% to 47.1%. And the biggest number of all? Three-point shooting went from 28.5% to 33.2%. That single improvement changed everything. Now defenders actually had to respect him on the perimeter instead of ignoring him. That meant more space for Fox to attack, more room for Wemby inside, more pressure on defenses trying to rotate across the floor. The fit everyone said would fail suddenly started looking dangerous for the rest of the league. The scary part for the rest of the league? Stephon Castle didn't even become an elite shooter. He just became good enough to destroy the entire scouting report. That's what changed everything. This wasn't normal player development anymore. This was a full transformation. And there's one number that should have every NBA front office paying attention right now: 7.4 assists per game, 6th in the entire league. Not among young guards, not among second-year players, in the whole NBA. Ahead of veteran all-stars, ahead of established point guards. A 21-year-old running an offense at a top-tier level in just his 2nd season. And the craziest part? He didn't rack those assists up by dominating the ball every possession. He earned them through reads, timing, and control. That's what made San Antonio's offense so dangerous. But this story got way bigger than just Castle. The Spurs exploded into one of the best teams in basketball. After missing the playoffs the year before, San Antonio finished 62-20, grabbed the 2nd seed in the Western Conference, built the 4th-ranked offense in the league, the 3rd-ranked defense, and posted the 2nd-best net rating in the NBA. A year earlier, people were saying they were still a season away. Then, suddenly, they were steamrolling the league. And the fit problem everybody obsessed over for 2 straight years? Gone. Because the second Castle became even a respectable 3-point shooter at 33%, defenses had no choice but to guard him honestly. No more defenders cheating off him. No more collapsing the paint every possession. That one improvement opened everything up. Wemby started getting cleaner catches and easier looks inside. Fox finally had driving lanes without running into walls of defenders. The whole offense started breathing differently. The jumper grabbed headlines, but the playmaking was the real weapon. When Castle and Wembanyama shared the floor together, the Spurs outscored opponents by double digits per 100 possessions. The chemistry between them got so ridiculous that fans started calling them Area 51, number 5 and number 1, creating problems nobody could explain. It felt unfair at times. Pass, read, punish. That basically became San Antonio's entire system. And every team that tried throwing extra defenders at Wemby this season learned the hard way that doubling him was no longer safe. Because now there was a guard running the offense who could instantly make defenses pay for every mistake. Still, somehow, the league didn't fully reward what Castle was doing. When All-Star Weekend arrived, Castle, 6th in assists, leading one of the best teams in basketball, becoming one of the NBA's fastest rising young guards, got placed in the Rising Stars game instead. The event meant for prospects still trying to prove themselves. That decision definitely got people talking. But Castle never complained publicly. No social media rants, no sneak disses, no drama. He just kept playing. Because everybody in San Antonio understood something important. Regular season praise only matters so much. The real test was always going to come in the playoffs. That's where stars either rise or get exposed. April 19, 2026, playoff basketball officially arrives. The Spurs draw the Portland Trail Blazers in round 1, and despite San Antonio's record, plenty of people expected the series to be tougher than advertised. Castle answered quickly. Across the series, he averaged 19.8 points, 6.0 assists, and 4.0 rebounds per game. But honestly, one moment changed the entire conversation. Game 2, Portland steals home court, and then disaster hits for San Antonio. Wemby takes a hard shot and enters concussion protocol midway through the game. Suddenly, the Spurs are staring at the possibility of losing their superstar for multiple games. And just like that, all the pressure landed on Castle. The same player critics once claimed could never handle running an NBA offense was now the only guy capable of holding the team together. So, what did he do? He walked into Portland, on the road, with the season suddenly wobbling, and dropped 33 points in one of the biggest games of his young career. Stephon Castle storms into Portland, drops 33 points, and carries San Antonio to a 120-108 win without Wemby on the floor. Just like that, the Spurs steal home court right back and completely flip the energy of the series. And after that moment, San Antonio never trailed in the series again. They closed Portland out in 5 games. Think about how wild that sounds for a second. The same rookie people claimed couldn't run an offense was now leading a playoff team through the toughest stretch of a series while a generational superstar sat on the bench in street clothes. That's a massive jump in 1 year. Then came round 2. Minnesota entered the matchup with one clear mission: turn the series ugly, slow the game down, pressure San Antonio's young core, and grab home court before the Spurs could settle in. At first, it worked. The Timberwolves stole Game 1 with a gritty 104-102 win. But if you looked deeper at the box score, one detail stood out immediately. Castle tied for the team lead in scoring with 17 points while also adding 5 assists. And he did it while constantly attacking Minnesota's defense head-on. The Wolves couldn't stay in front of him consistently, so the physical play started ramping up. Extra bumps, hard fouls, more pressure after every possession. Then things got even tougher. Castle fouled out with 3:20 remaining in a one-possession game, and San Antonio lost its main offensive engine down the stretch. Champagnie ended up missing the potential game winner at the buzzer, another brutal playoff battle. And that loss made it 6 one-possession games already for the Spurs this postseason. Their margin for error was razor thin. But the bigger takeaway wasn't even the final score. It was the version of Castle Minnesota suddenly had to deal with. Not the hesitant rookie from last year, not the project player people mocked on draft night. This was a guard attacking defenders confidently, controlling tempo, creating shots under pressure, and forcing elite defenses to adjust around him. That's the player every remaining playoff team is now studying on film. Castle isn't the weak link anymore. He's becoming the answer San Antonio turns to when games get messy. And once you zoom out and compare the numbers, the growth looks even crazier. Regular season, 16.7 points, 7.4 assists, 5.3 rebounds. Playoffs, 19.3 points, 5.8 assists, 4.2 rebounds. Even the shooting numbers improved under pressure. The three-point percentage climbed. The free throw percentage jumped all the way to 80%. Most young guards crack when playoff defenses lock in. Castle got sharper. That's the detail that should worry every front office watching this unfold. Stephon Castle is only 21 years old and already tearing apart the exact weaknesses scouts once said would hold him back forever. Running an offense late in big games? That's not a concern anymore. That's becoming his biggest strength. And honestly, the scariest part for the league might be what San Antonio hasn't even unlocked yet. Imagine being a GM looking across the playoff bracket at this roster. Wemby, Fox, Harper, Castle. That's a terrifying core to think about long-term. Because just 1 year ago, people questioned whether Castle could even shoot well enough to stay on the floor next to Wembanyama. Now he's top 6 in assists, shooting 47% from the field, leading the offense of a 62-win team, and stuffing playoff stat sheets at 21 years old. That kind of rise changes everything, and this isn't some aging contender trying to squeeze out one last run. This group is just getting started. Castle is 21, Wemby is 22, Harper is still a rookie, Fox is locked in long-term. The championship window isn't closing anytime soon. It's opening wider every season. The nightmare scenario the league feared 2 summers ago is suddenly becoming real right in front of everybody's eyes. Wemby finally has a running mate who can defend, create offense, and stretch the floor when it matters most. Now, the biggest question hanging over the NBA is simple. Can this group bring banner number 6 to San Antonio this year? Or is the real damage still waiting for the rest of the league in the years ahead?